What's up guys, Justin here with the CGEssentials.com, back with another Blender camera tutorial for you. So when I first started off with Blender, I found the camera system to be a little bit confusing. So it's a little bit counterintuitive in the sense that the view you see in your 3D viewport isn't always the view that you're actually going to see when you render, other things like that. So when I first started off, just getting all of that to work and finding the fastest, easiest way to do that was a bit of a struggle. However, with doing a little bit of research and working with it a little more, I really feel comfortable with the cameras now, and I thought that I could create a tutorial that would kind of walk you through exactly how to use cameras in different ways inside of Blender. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so what is a camera and why does it matter? So what cameras basically do is cameras are the tools that you use to set what's going to be rendered as a part of an image inside of Blender. So like for example, when I fly around inside of my 3D viewport and I set up a view, right? So let's say we set up a view where we were looking down or we were looking up from like a lower angle like this at a model like my default model. Well, if I wanted to render this view and I was to go in and I was to do a render image, notice how what's actually being rendered out in my scene is totally different than what you're seeing in the viewport, right? And so the reason that this is because we need to set up a camera that shows us the view of our object. So we basically need to set up a camera and tell Blender, okay, this is our active camera and this is what we want you to render. So what we would want in this situation is, instead of me moving around in my viewport and setting up a view, what we would want to do instead is we would want to select a camera like this one, and we would want to use that camera in order to create our animation. So there's a little trick in here which we'll talk more about in a little bit, but if I do a Control-Alt-0 and I kind of zoom out and then I was to do a render, well now my rendered image is going to contain what's actually shown in my viewport, right? And obviously it's a real quick render from Eevee, but you can see how you set the way that things are rendered inside of Blender using your camera view and your camera location. And so let's start by looking at what the camera actually is. So the camera, you can see inside of our scene, is basically an object inside of our 3D space. And what the camera does is it has an origin point right here, as well as a viewport on the front side that's going to show us what that camera is actually going to see, right? So if we were to like zoom in like this and place our camera in our viewport, you can see how this is showing us exactly what this camera would see from this point. Right, and these actually act as objects in the 3D space. So let's say that I was to go to the top view like this and use the move tool in order to move this around. So if I tap G and move this, you can see I can move this in the 3D space. In addition, I can also do things like rotating the camera in the 3D space. You can also scale these as well. So you can use this basically like an object inside of Blender. And so we'll use that in the future to do things like animating cameras along paths so that our cameras move, other things like that. But just know that this object is going to be representative of your camera and that you can actually edit it in Blender. It's also going to show up as a camera object inside of your scene collection. So you can see how when I select this, it's selecting the camera option over here. Okay, so in addition, notice that when you select a camera object, right? So I'll select this model for a second, but then I'm going to go back and select my camera object. You get an option over here on the right hand side of the page for your object data properties that looks like a little camera. So this little camera is going to contain things having to do with what your camera sees inside of your 3D viewport. We can come back and look at this a little bit later, but I just wanted you to be aware that there is a set of settings contained inside of the camera settings in Blender that's going to affect the way that your camera acts. Alright, so now let's talk about how to add a camera inside of Blender, as well as how to start navigating around setting up your camera views. So the way that you add a camera is you basically add it like any object that you would add in the 3D workspace. So what you would do is you would just do a Shift A and you would add a camera. So you just want to click on the button for camera right here. Notice how that got added where our 3D cursor is inside of Blender. So if you want to be a little bit more precise when you do this, what you can do is before you place your camera, you can do a Shift right click to place your 3D cursor somewhere. And then you can do a Shift A camera. And notice how that camera gets placed where my 3D cursor is. And so what we want to do is we want to start actually editing what your camera looks like, right? So what it sees, where it is in the 3D space, all of that. And so there's a few ways you can do this. So the first thing you could do, you absolutely could do this, is you could just move this camera around manually, right? So you can just select it, tap the G key, and then move it around. And you could try to set things like the camera rotation, all of that. So a lot of that can be found inside of the item information over here. So you can see how we can adjust things like the rotation on the X, Y, and Z axes, things like that. But the problem with that is it's really clunky, right? And so let's find a better way to look through our cameras. So the first thing is, whenever you have a camera inside of your model, if you want to look through it, you can use the numpad 0 key in order to jump into that view, right? So if I hit the 0 key right now, what that's going to do is that's going to jump into the view, and it's going to show me what's shown or what the camera is going to see in my viewport. So you can see how right here, this is showing me what my camera sees. But we want to adjust this, right, so that it's showing our car model kind of in the center. And so the way that everyone really does this is basically what they do is they select their camera, and then if they tap the in key and go into the view settings on the right hand side of the page, there's actually an option here for lock 3D camera to view. So right now, for example, inside of this camera view, if I zoom in and out, you can see how the camera isn't moving with me, right? I could hit the 0 key again to jump out of the view, but it's not really doing what we want it to do. However, if you click on this button for lock camera to view and then navigate around inside of your scene, notice how your camera is now moving along with your view location. So now what we can do is we can just use the view inside of the scene in order to set up the way that our camera is going to look or what our camera is going to see. Then you can also come in here and you can make some fine adjustments. Like for example, for this camera, I don't want this to have a Y rotation, so I'm going to set this to 0. So you can still adjust the transformation over here as well. But basically, this is going to be the fastest way to set up your camera view, is to hit the 0 key and then lock your camera to view. One other trick when you do this, and I'm going to uncheck the lock camera to view for a second, is when you hit the 0 key, notice how this isn't taking up your full window inside of your viewport, right? But if you hit the 0 key and then you tap the home key before you lock this to view, what that's going to do is that's going to zoom this camera to the extent of your view right here. So now your full viewport is going to show you what's going to show up in your camera. Then we can just go over here and just turn on lock camera to view, and we can make adjustments just like this. Then once you're done with that, you can just hit the 0 key to get back out of your camera. All right, so let's say you have a camera view that you really like, or you have a view inside of your viewport that you really like let's say you had a viewport inside of your screen like this, and you wanted your camera to show this, right? So, but you don't want to go back and you re-navigate with the camera active. Like let's say you navigated in here and you don't want to go back and do it again with your camera. Well, what you can do is with your active camera, you can do a Control Alt and then numpad 0. So if I do a Control Alt numpad 0, notice what that's going to do is that's going to snap your camera to the location that you have selected inside of your 3D viewport. So now, if we were to rotate out of this, outside of our camera view, you can see how the camera has been placed inside of our car model right here. And so now let's talk a little bit more about the properties of our camera from a focal length standpoint. If you look up focal length is basically going to set your angle of view, meaning how much stuff is going to fit inside of your camera angle, right? So if you scroll down, there's a couple examples of this. So different camera lenses are going to have wider and narrower focal lengths. And this is something that you should probably research a little bit when you're setting up your renderings. But basically what it does is it allows you to use the focal length to set the width of your view inside of your camera scene. So you can see how with these examples, the higher the millimeters, the smaller your focal length, right? So in this case, because we have an interior view, we want to use a lower focal length because that's going to basically allow more stuff into our view, right? So what we can do is we can adjust the camera focal length in our settings right here. We'll notice how the camera focal length in our settings is basically giving us a narrower or wider field of view. So if I adjust this to something like, let's go with 20, notice how we're getting a much better view of our car inside of this scene. So you can see how we can use that focal length width in order to adjust what we can see in here. Now, one thing to be aware of when you do this is if you have a very narrow focal length, or if you have a very small value in here, what this is going to do is it's going to distort your image, right? So the more that you move this to the left, the more distortion you're going to get. So just be aware when you're doing this that you want to kind of walk that line between getting more stuff in your you can kind of walk that line between getting more stuff in your camera view and making sure that you don't have that distortion inside of your scene. Let's talk about how to manage multiple different cameras. So you can see how in here I have multiple different camera views inside of Blender, right? And I'm going to go ahead and label this one. So we're just going to call this inside car. And what that means is that if I want to jump to my camera view inside of the car and I hit the 0 key, it's going to bring me in the car. However, let's say that we have something where we have multiple different camera views. So this is another model I've downloaded from Sketchfab. It's just kind of like an old style like fort building. It was actually kind of fun to build because it's got these modular parts and pieces in here. So a lot of the time you're going to have multiple different camera views in a model because you want to show different things. Well, in this situation, for example, I've got an overall camera view and I've got a close-up of a building right here. And so let's say that we wanted to go to the close-up of a building camera view. Well, if I hit the 0 key right now, notice how it's dropping me in a different camera view. It's dropping me in the overall, not in the one that shows the home. That's because that camera is set to be the active camera. And so whenever we hit the 0 key, what that's going to do is that's going to put our viewport inside of the active camera. You can tell which camera is the active camera by looking over here in your outliner and noticing which one of these has the little gray box around it, like this. So right now, for example, you can see that our overall camera is the one that has the gray box. So if we hit 0, that's the one that it's going to put our view in. However, if we want to change which camera is our active camera, what you can do is you can just come up here and you can just click on the green icon right here for this camera view. Well, now if I hit the 0 key, notice how that's going to drop me in my closer camera view right here. So you can use this to set which camera is active. That's going to be the camera that shows up inside of your view, and it's going to be the camera that gets rendered. So if we wanted to jump back to our car model, we could select the one over here for inside of our car. And then if we hit the 0 key, it's going to put us in that camera. So you can toggle between the different cameras just by clicking on this little icon right here. So you can also do that by selecting a camera in your viewport, doing a control numpad 0. That'll jump into a camera view and it'll also set that camera view as active. All right, and so one thing you might have noticed when you have really large or really small models is that sometimes things inside of your viewport can get clipped out, right? So if you've ever had a model like this one where notice how when I zoom out, you're starting to not see different parts of your model, right? So the reason for this is because Blender has the cameras set up where they clip out at a certain length. And so this is something that you can adjust inside of your view for your viewport or inside of your camera settings for your cameras. But basically what they do is at a certain length in your larger models, what this is going to do is it's going to hide everything beyond a given length in order to improve performance. So I think there's some other technical aspects of the 3D view there as well, but for the most part it's to improve performance. We'll notice how inside of our view settings, so if you tap the N key to pop this menu up, and then you click the little drop down right here, there's a setting in here for clipping start and clipping in. And so right now I have this set to a fairly low setting of 100 meters. Well, if we were to drag this to the right, notice how in our scene, more things start showing up. And the reason why is because we're setting the furthest point at which this is clipping things out, and we can adjust that value up so we can make sure that our spaceship model isn't getting clipped. So in this case, it'd probably be easiest to just put a value in here of like 1,000 or something like that. And so notice how when I put a value in here of 1,000, my grid extends a lot further out as well. And so notice how in my viewport, this is showing up fine. But if I was to tap the 0 key and go to my camera view, notice that this is still being clipped out. The reason why is because your viewport does have a clipping start and end setting over here, but your camera has a separate start and end setting. So what you would need to do in this situation to keep this from getting clipped out is you would change this to something like 1,000. So notice how when you change your camera clipping and you're inside of the camera, then your clipping is fixed so that you can see everything inside of your model. Cameras inside of Blender can also handle depth of field. So depth of field basically has to do with the amount of focus in an image. So you've probably seen this method where a camera focuses on something close inside of a scene, but then it gets blurry the further away the camera gets. Or the other way, you could have it focus on something further away and have it get blurry close. This is something having to do with the way your camera is set up, and you can use it to create focus on objects in a scene. Well, in this situation, let's say that I have a camera view set up, so I'm inside of this camera right now, and let's say I have 3 models. I have 2 of these Bonnie models and then the monkey head model right here. Well, if you select this camera and go over into depth of field, what you can do, and you can already see it in here, is you can set an object to focus on, as well as the focus distance. So let's say, for example, that I wanted to focus on this front model. Well, what I could do is I could use the eyedropper here to focus on this model. Notice how we can adjust this, specifically having to do specifically with our f-stop value. We can adjust how strong this effect is, right? So the lower value is going to make everything, even the object that we're focusing on, blurry. A higher value is going to make things a little bit more clear. So we can use this in order to set our camera focus on an object. So you could also, if you didn't want to focus on an object, you can manually set your focus distance in here as well. So let's say I bring this down to like 1.1, and then I bring my focus distance down. Well, notice how my focus distance is being set inside of my camera based on the distance from the camera. So you can use this to more manually control the way things are focused on. And again, remember, you could swap this out for different effects. So for example, I could focus on the Suzanne in here, so I could have it be clear in the background, and then you could have these other models that are more blurry in the foreground. So if you guys are interested, I can continue this series talking maybe in the next one about doing a little more with the animation of different cameras and setting up different kinds of shots. But leave a comment below, let me know what you're interested in there. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.